Welcome to Motherhood Aligned and Assigned, where we help guide mothers from symptoms to solutions.
We're Dr. Serena Coffman and Dr. Veronica Schiltz, nervous system specialists helping families discover the missing link in their wellness journey.
Join us as we translate complex health challenges into simple, actionable solutions for you and your children.
Because your family deserves to thrive,
not just survive.
Okay, well, we kind of just made up this episode as we went because I am walking through something that I feel like other natural-minded families walk through. It's almost like an existential crisis when things like this happen because it's like, I don't know the things. Why isn't it working? And so I wanted to title this episode When Chiropractic Fails, because that's what it feels like when, I'll just give the example. We have been in a very stressful season. I am now seeing the purpose of it all being, closer to the Lord than ever before. But during that, I thought I was gonna die. And I kind of looked up and I felt like we were recouping everything. And my 4-year-old got an ear infection, which as a chiropractor, I feel like is almost an insult. Like, what do you mean? And she's never had an ear infection before. We're really fighting. We're hoping she doesn't need antibiotics, but we might be trending in that direction. We're just so hidden. I didn't even know she was sick. She had a little bit of runny nose, and then all of a sudden she was complaining in her ear. And so we're doing all things. But I just wanted to have a conversation because I do feel like there might be other parents out there who are going to chiropractic, maybe even going in a PX doc office. What gives? I'm invested in my health, in my children's health. I am, doing all these things. And yet it feels like I've come to this roadblock of things are not working like I wanted to. And I just was curious. It's kind of a vulnerable topic for me because I'm literally walking through it in some ways.
Indeed, same. And neither of my kids have ever had an ear infection yet. But Hadley's eczema has just been wild for 2 years, right? I'm well, apparently this style of chiropractic and philosophy and training and education, so many stories of eczema going away. So same as you, what gives, right? There were times where I wasn't, she didn't have her care plan. Because it's she's been adjusted her whole life, right? So it's not that, I don't know, I just felt like that should be enough, right? If she started getting adjusted, then why shouldn't she need a care plan? Right? She's done her wellness. Yeah. But I scanned her, and actually the first scans I ever did, I was like, these scans are a scam. My kid does not look like that, right?
Same thing.
You did the same thing.
I didn't think they were a scam, but I was like, oh. What are you
rude?
I felt personally attacked.
Yeah, I was these are dumb. And then I bought this practice, and I was well, I need to truly believe that these work, or I'm not going to be able to care for people well in doing these. And the more people I scanned and then did the care plans, say, okay, these are not a scam. Let me read, because Hadley wasn't expressing stress as the scans would show. It's this doesn't match up with my girl, right?
Great.
It was building up though and coming. The stress, the expression of that stress was on its way. So then I said, oh. So I rescanned her. They were worse. And they matched her symptoms. And I was okay, let's buckle down and get her a care plan. And now they're so much better. Her scans are great. And her eczema is still there. But not as bad. So what I'm realizing, and we did a whole functional medicine thing, all these supplements to, okay, she's under chiropractic care, so now let's start the functional medicine side of things, which I do functional medicine very sparingly. But I took her to someone else because I can't see this clearly for my own kid, which I wish I had a chiropractor here, close by for her. Anyway, it's I don't want to drive that far, but I would do it. I would prove a point. I will show up, 3 times a week for 4 weeks to prove that, as a mom, I've done this too. Anyway, I'm doing it. But if I have the skill set, I'm just going to do it. But the supplements, I worked for a while, and then her system was just joke's on you. I'm used to it now. And they just stopped working. So we're just spending so much money on supplements for them to have worked for a little bit and then stopped working. And so I was you know what? I'm done stressing about all the supplements. I'm done stressing about avoiding bunch of allergens. Like we were rotating food because her nervous, or not her nervous system, her immune system is just insanely robust. So she's almost never sick because her immune system just kicks everything, but then it's over responding to everything too, and then resulting in this eczema flare. Right? So you're like rotating foods, so her immune system would build up a sensitivity and all of these things. And as an encouragement, that was a process that we're now out of. Because I was like, I'm done stressing about it. Actually, like, I'm not going to worry about it. Which my husband's like, babe, you're our healthcare provider. And I was like, no, I think I just needed to be hands off and just do adjustments. And she's probably in the best place she's been in a long time. Mm. And what I come to the conclusion is, when I was her age, my eczema was much, much, much worse. And so I think her eczema would be insane right now if we weren't where we are right now with her care plan. Mm-hmm. So that would be my encouragement to you is, okay, she was a tiny bit sick and stressed with like what she was picking up with you and Grant. And it could be worse. I imagine that. And I would say, how many days has she had it now? They've been like complaining about her ears.
Good old chiropractic care, right? She kind of like gets better and then it comes back. And then, so it's been about 5 days now where we're just kind of continuing, like, all right, doing ear drops multiple times a day, adjustments multiple times a day. I do think I just checked her ears and they're not as red. There's still some things going on. So I'm hoping they're draining, but yeah, I do. And that's kind of what my mom said too. She's like, most people don't make it to 4 before they have to even consider antibiotics, right? And so I do think that is also why I wanted to have this conversation, because thank you. I had that realization too of like, okay, it could be a lot worse considering the season of life we're in, right? Yeah. So I am thankful for that, but I think like I honestly, it makes me feel a little better. Sometimes I think people will look at us and it's like, your kids are perfect, or like last night Isaiah did not sleep from like 1 o'clock to 5 in the morning. Little stat. I think his molars are coming in, but it's just like sometimes with this care we get into these bubbles, and I even do it with like our mentor, Dr. Tony, right? Like in like other offices that are PX talks. You think that because we're always talking about the amazing things that we are doing and the cool miracles and stories we have in our office, that it's always perfect. And so when you're going through something that doesn't feel perfect or holistic or optimal, right? We're always talking about like optimal health, but in that there's still these journeys that we get to go through. And kind of like what you said, like if we hadn't been doing this work and if we hadn't had this knowledge, imagine where we'd be without it. And so almost like taking a step back and instead of like comparing or having these expectations for health, appreciating the journey too, because we live in a world full of toxins, traumas, and thoughts, right? So yeah, thank you for that encouragement. Yeah. And I just want to encourage someone listening too that we don't have it all together all the time, but we have the tools to get through things like this. And that's what we're extending to you too, is those tools so that you have somewhere to turn to when you're like, what should I do now?
Yeah. And then like, if you are involved in my office, I would say, okay, if you're worried about it, go to your pediatrician and get tested, right? See if it's bacterial or viral. If it's bacterial, you have information in your pocket to then choose antibiotics if you feel like that's the direction you need to go. You don't have to do that. You have information. If it's viral, you got to wait it out. Mm-hmm. But I would say go gather information, but don't let them just prescribe antibiotics just because I think something like 80% of your infections or more are viral, right? So they don't need antibiotics and they will resolve on their own. Mm-hmm. And even faster and better if you're creating an adaptable nervous system that gets out of its own way for the ears to drain and all those things, right? So just go get information for peace of mind. Because if it's viral, it can show up.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, I'm just gonna... Yeah. So, and then it's bacterial and you have the prescription ready when you need it to be ready.
That is true. Yeah. And knowing that because of the work you're doing, even if that is the road you have to take, your baby's body is just going to handle that so much better also, right? So yeah. Yes, but sometimes it's hard when you're the doctor and you're like, what do I do? I usually come to me when I need to go somewhere. And I will say, having a good, we have an excellent pediatrician office. we do drive an extra 30 minutes out of our way to go to them. And so just doing what you can to be surrounded with other providers. We in chiropractic, we do have our peers, which is lovely, but it is nice to have providers who will say those same things. Our pediatrician recommends chiropractic care first before they prescribe antibiotics. Yeah, and we love them.
I just had a pediatrician refer to me for ear stuff for a kiddo. It's like, well, I'm not available till this, so I would like you to go see a chiropractor first. It's like, oh, thank you.
There's good ones out there. You just gotta find them. Find your village, because it does help when you're like, So.
Yeah. Well, good talk.
Thanks for listening.
Okay, bye.
You guys next time.
Thank you for joining us on Motherhood Aligned and Assigned.
We hope today's episode helped you connect the dots in your family's health journey.
Remember, this is where nervous system health meets motherhood wisdom.
Until next time, we're Dr. Veronica Schiltz.
And Dr. Serena Coffman, supporting you as you nurture your family's well-being.
Because when you're aligned, everyone thrives.